This is the gospel according to the IRS, Breaking Points and Church Financial Updates. And now, here's the authority, Dr. Michael Chitwood and Breaking Points.
This is Michael Chitwood. Welcome to Breaking Points today. And we've got a great program for you today. We're actually going to continue with that subject that a lot of people don't like to talk about, and that's money, 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 money. The only thing I've ever found wrong about money is you don't have anything. A man told me one time, he says, listen, he says, you can't be happy and be wealthy. I said, well, I know a lot of people that poor and can't be happy. So therefore, it's important for you to make sure that you understand that this subject is a necessary. I'm talking about the pastor's compensation package today, and I want to continue with this because it's so important that we understand what you can do and what you cannot do when it comes to the pastor's compensation package, how to set it. We know that the board cannot set the pastor's compensation package. We know that that has to be done by someone that has no influence. Now, go back to the point that we had. Grab your pad and pen, by the way, because this is important. We're going to continue with this. We have one more series on this because this is important that deals with these sanctions. The sanctions contained, we've been over that. Congress defines disqualified persons as those people that are pastors, officers, deacons, trustees, elders, and the bookkeeper, which we know she's not a bookkeeper. She's a check writer and doesn't know anything about what she's doing for the most part. She's a good person, and when she dies, she'll probably go to heaven. But she doesn't know as a bookkeeper. She's not a bookkeeper in the first place. You may have hired her on her resume as a bookkeeper, but I can assure you right now that she is a check writer. Go ask her if she knows double entry accounting. You'll find out that she doesn't know. Now, don't be disrespectful to her if she just doesn't know. She's a check writer. She's a check writer, a church check writer, which knows nothing about nonprofit law and nonprofit accounting. She certainly doesn't know anything about rules on excess compensation, and neither does your board. And by the way, wake up that board member that we caught sleeping yesterday. There he goes. Look at, there he goes again. The same. Wake him up a little bit because he's going to wind up with a huge prison ministry if he's not careful. Trustees, for example, could face a 10% penalty if they approve for someone to receive the benefit. The penalty or the tax, here's what they call it, the penalty or the tax for the violation would be capped at $10,000. The sanction would also apply to benefits that accrue to members of the disqualified person's family, for example. Now, who would that be? Put this down. Number one, the pastor's wife, the pastor's family, the pastor's son, the pastor's daughter. We have a lot of national ministries these days where that they use their family in the ministry. Is that okay? Yes, that's okay. So if you have a family-controlled, family-run ministry, I congratulate you. That's a theocracy or maybe even autocracy, and I commend you. But I'll tell you this, you better make sure that your daughter, who is your financial administrator, is not getting any more than what that fair market value would command at somebody outside that church or outside the nonprofit. If you do, you're going to wind up getting yourself in serious trouble. So the family benefits, we've been over that, the family, and that's anybody that's blood related or related in any capacity there. Now, here's what I want to go. The law will also make the enforcements to somebody, what they say here, that rips off the nonprofit organization. Jane Gallagher is a Washington, D.C. attorney, and I like what she says here. She specializes in writing reports on this. She says that the law will have an impact on these instances, and these organizations that engage in transactions will be considered inside board trading or inside such as board members that would benefit from this. Now, for example, here's what she quotes. In fact, I'll just read it to you. Let me just read this to you if I can. For example, if the organization rents space from a board member, or rents something from a board member and pays more than the fair market value, then, ladies and gentlemen, that's considered excess benefits, and you are going to be faced with a penalty. Now, here's what I want to point out to you. Now, get this carefully because I like this a lot here. Entities that are not officially recognized by the Internal Revenue Service as a 501c3 will have to name all disqualified persons that sit on the boards and that are involved in management on the 990 tax return. And if it's not filed and filed on time, guess what? The penalty doubles to $20 a day with a maximum penalty of $10,000. Now, what are we saying? We're saying this: be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. The Living Bible says, be wise as a serpent, cunning as a fox. A man told me last week in one of our seminars, wise as a serpent, tricky as a trustee. I don't know about that being true or not, but I will tell you this for sure. You better make sure if you're a board member that you are wise, and you cannot set the pastor's compensation package if it's going to be considered breaking the rules on excess benefits. Tomorrow, I am going to continue with all of the major benefits under the CFC rules. I want you to be sure that you're with me. Take that same pen. Don't make a mistake. Have a wealthy, good-looking pen, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. This is Michael Chitwood, and I will see you tomorrow on Breaking Points and the continuation of rules on excess compensation benefit.
Breaking Points gives you the latest IRS updates and tax law. Pastor, if the IRS came to your church today, what would you say? If you really want your house of worship in order, call 1-800-345-9117.